There, your Cincinnati starting lineup featuring two versatile bigs, Mustafa Cham and Baba Miller, a rebounding machine between the two of them. An early 0 for 2 for the Bearcats offense, as West Virginia will retain possession with 23 on the shot clock.
And if you notice, when you get the ball on the side, on the outer thirds, Rich, Cincinnati will put 2 on the basketball, very similar to what Iowa State did last game. You have to get rid of it and hit the short roll.
Here's Jasper Floyd coming over from North Texas like his head coach did. Nice feed underneath, but Obioha can't finish it. And here's Jizzle James, 2 in black. Left-handed 3 off the mark by the former Mountaineer, Sincere Harris.
And they're going to give Sincere Harris that shot all day, every day. He only shoots 21 from 3. West Virginia is living with that.
Here's Brendan Lorient, missed the last game. The North Texas transfer back in the lineup tonight. Eagle staff feeling it early.
And when we talked to Ross Hodge, he said he feels like one of these games, Eagle staff could really show out and have a big night. Is tonight the night? We will see.
One of 2 players in Division I basketball in the last 4 years with a 50-burger. He did that last year for North Dakota.
Hey, 50 is a lot of points, Rich. I don't care what level you're at.
Jizzle James. And so far, the Cincinnati offense skunked by this West Virginia D.
Here's you see another beautiful execution of the pick and roll on the side. Clear the corner out, no backside tag, easy pocket pass.
Miller leads the Bearcats in scoring and rebounding, averaging a double-double this season, 7 of them on the year so far for Miller. West Virginia comes in 9 and 5 on the year. Cincinnati 8 and 6.
Oh.
And there's Honor Hunt entering the chat.
The separation, the step back right there. Once again, he is a tough shot maker.
He's 4th in the nation in 3-pointers made after leading the nation in that category 1 year ago.
You have the advantage down low if you can get it to Baba.
Instead, it's the other big man. Mustafa Cham chips in with 2.
And that's the problem that the Twin Towers cause down low for Cincinnati. They both have good touch around the rim, and at 7 foot, you don't see too many front courts in the country with that level of size.
Cham, a Big 12 veteran, started 34 games last year for UCF. Here's Moore, the St. Bonaventure transfer. 8 on the shot clock. This is a West Virginia team who is very judicious offensively. There's a timeout. First time out of the game, King.
And we are in for a treat, Rich. Clear the corner out. ToDay Thomas on a pocket pass. Baba with the flush.
All the way up to the Big 12. Right now, Ross Hodge's defense holding the Bearcats to just 3 for 8 from the field. Here's James. He was reinstated on December 17th. This is his 5th game back. Here's a turnover forced by the West Virginia defense. What's the over-under on deflections tonight, King?
I mean, both defenses are so sound within what they love. Chance Moore, you have to know when he gets into the game, he is an energy booster for this West Virginia team. He's not a shooter, so what does he love to do? He loves to put his head down, get to the rim, so you better be ready to embrace the contact because he is seeking it out. And right there, this is the new rule, the continuation. You take the 1 step after the referee calls the foul, it's a bucket this year.
In his first start 1 game ago, he had 17 points and 7 rebounds against number 3 Iowa State. Can't complete that 3-point play, but his bucket gives West Virginia a 9-point lead. And Tony Padilla calls a foul away from the basketball. That's going to be on Amir Jenkins.
And right now, Rich, I think this is the time where ToDay Thomas has to be inserted. He has to be more aggressive right now. Let's see if they can find ways to put him in positions to try to score the ball right now.
There's another freshman, Sean Abayev. He's a McDonald's All-America, misses his first shot of the game. It's out of bounds, and it'll be Mountaineers basketball. West Virginia's offense clicking early, King. 4 of their last 4 from the field. And now Obioha and Eaglestaff check back in. So Brennan Lorient inbounds to Jasper Floyd, a pair of former UNT Mean Green members last year with Ross Hodge. Here's Huff. Another tough 3, and he gets fouled for his efforts.
And that's what makes them tough. Typically good shooters, Rich. They understand the amount of separation, one, that they need to be able to create. However, number 2, if you get too close to them, they understand how to flop. They understand how to draw fouls. So you better not touch them, and you better allow them to land. Because if not, Honor Huff understands how to get himself to the free throw line.
Sincere Harris, an all-defensive player last year with the Mountaineers out of the Big 12. Coming up at 9 Eastern on ESPN, freshman phenom Darren Peterson is back for number 17 Kansas. They host 11-3 TCU at Allen Fieldhouse. It's also available on the ESPN app. I got to watch Darren Peterson last Saturday in Orlando go off. 23 points in the first half, 26 in all, before he had to take a seat due to a minutes restriction.
Hey, that's a bad boy right there, Rich. That is a bad man.
Well, you talk about historic starts in the Big 12. Michael Beasley, Trae Young, Kevin Durant. Darren Peterson saying, hold my beer, boys. I'm sure Jamie Dixon is cooking up something for him tonight. James off the mark, 1 and done for the Bearcats.
If you're Cincinnati, the ball is not falling. You have to get it done on the defensive side and get stops.
Eaglestaff, again, first miss of the game for Trayson Eaglestaff. Celestine had it knocked away by Brennan Lorient. Harris turns it over, but a foul is called.
This is also an area in which Wes Miller was extremely concerned, Rich. He said in moments like this, they don't have a go-to scorer. They don't have a guy who can bail them out and they can run their offense through. They're still seeking out who is going to be the go-to scorer in moments where they run into scoring droughts.
Here's Celestine. Since he hasn't scored in over 2 minutes in this game right now. Four to shoot. Jizzle's got it, but he can't convert. Offensive rebound and a fresh 20 seconds for the Bearcats. Abayev, guarded 3, but it's off the mark and it's cleared by Obioha.
West Virginia's defense has been on point. You talk about Cincinnati being a top 10 defense in the country. Well, right now, that's what West Virginia is looking like.
Here's a turnover, a steal by James, and it forces the foul by Jasper Floyd. Timeout on the floor, 11:40 to go in the first half.
Impressive, especially coming off of a game against Iowa State where he really didn't have his best moment. And they really made it tough for him the whole game.
And unfortunately, Cincinnati playing a little bit short-handed tonight. They're without the services of that man in the gray sweatshirt. That's Kerr Kriisa, who Mountaineer fans certainly know. He spent a couple of years here before going to Kentucky and then transferring to Cincinnati. Separated his shoulder early in that Houston game. He is not available tonight. Here's Huff. This time he gets inside the three-point line and converts.
And that's what I'm talking about. When you don't limit yourself to just being a three-point shooter, you make yourself that much harder to guard.
Game high 10 right now for Honor Huff, who was 1 for 8 from 3 against the Cyclones defense last time out. That 3 off the mark, 1 and done. West Virginia looking to add to a 9-0 run right now. Eagle staff, good hands by Baba Miller. They've got numbers. Miller, the lob. Sincere Harris, the finish.
And that is what you have to do. That's what you have to rely on. If you're Cincinnati right now, in the half court, your offense is not great. So what does that mean, Rich? That means you have to get stops. And when you get those stops, convert those into easy buckets on the opposite side. Good pass right there by Baba Miller. Good finish by Sincere Harris. But it starts on the defensive side. That's how you climb your way back into games. When you're on the road in an environment like West Virginia and your offense is not falling the way you want it to, you have to start and take extra pride on the defensive side.
Harris misses the chance at the three-point play, but got his own back. And now Cincinnati a chance to go on a little mini run as Eagle staff fouls Abayev and will send him to the line. That's 2 quick fouls on Trace and Eagle staff.
And that right there, this isn't a smart foul. I mean, you know Abayev, when he shoots the ball, he elevates. So the one thing you don't want to do is climb up under a shooter. You want to be able to contest without fouling, and you know Ross Hodge is not happy with that one.
So second time tonight, we have a player going to the line to shoot 3 free throws. Abayev can't connect on the first. Well, we have a women's basketball triple header Sunday afternoon. Number 16, North Carolina and Notre Dame start us off at 1. Then LSU hosts second-ranked Texas. And the afternoon wraps up with Duke at Stanford in Palo Alto. Quite the triple header. So the freshman Abayev goes 1 for 3 to end the West Virginia run. It's 19-9 Mountaineers. They have led from the opening tip. Eagle staff stops on a dime. Can't drop that 2-point jumper, and here comes Baba Miller leading the break for the Bearcats. Good pass. Thomas. Abayev thought better of the 3.
I feel like that's the one you have to shoot in rhythm. You got what you wanted. You had picking up where he left off. 15 points last game, shooting 46 for 3 on the year. They needed that.
ToDay Thomas has had a major improvement from last year to this. He gives Cincinnati their first 3-pointer of the night.
One day, a tiny little hand reached out and wrapped around your finger. Now, they have you wrapped around theirs. Pulled towards a new adventure, reassured with a squeeze. Soon, those little hands won't be so little anymore. Until then, let's escape together, hand in hand, on a Disney cruise.
Welcome back to Super Tuesday, presented by Progressive. This is the Big 12 on ESPN, and this is now Hope Coliseum. You and I both rolled up to this grand old building and forgot that it's not WVU Coliseum anymore.
Yeah, and I guess I never thought twice about it. Like I just accepted the name. So it feels a little different to see the Hope.
Mountaineers are 9-0 on this court so far this season as Honor Huff goes off the window for that 3, but it won't count. So now 5 Mountaineer turnovers. They average just a little over 10 turnovers a game. Both of these defenses, 2 of the most ferocious in the country. Here's Miller, baseline.
Good pass.
Feeds it, and McKinley chips in, and that is a big plus for Wes Miller.
And that's the skill set that Miller has. At 7 foot, he can really put the ball on the floor and create an advantage, so when the double team comes, he drops it off to a big and gets the easy 2. That's the skill set that so many people love when they talk about Baba Miller.
Miller has 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 dimes already. Lorient misses from close range. And the Bearcats come away with it. Freshman Keyshawn Tillery with the grab. And a foul on the floor on the Mountaineers. We have a timeout. Cincinnati chopping wood. They've got it to within 2 field goals.
On the floor, you know what to expect with Cam Boozer.
And of course, you're looking at Wes Miller, who knows all about the Duke Blue Devils, if only because that was his arch rival in college. He's a North Carolina Tar Heel, went from walk-on to captain when he was in his playing days there, and won a national championship with the Tar Heels. That ball's off. Thomas again. Can't get it to go. Another offensive rebound by the Bearcats. Step back three. Celestine, good.
Right now, you see the energy of Cincinnati slowly starting to rise. 2 offensive rebounds right there, which leads to a Celestine 3. The greatest shots are usually second chance shots. Now, if you're West Virginia, you know there's not a lot of shooting on the floor for Cincinnati. But the one guy that you always have to be aware of is Jalen Celestine. So when Baba Miller is getting doubled in the mid-post, you can't leave him open.
Jenkins gets it over to Moore. Now Thomas. Tip ball out of bounds, Cincinnati basketball. Turnover number 6 for the Mountaineers.
Substitution checking in for the Mountaineers, Harlan Obioha.
And now the big man, Harlan Obioha, checks back in for Ross Hodge and the Mountaineers.
You know, one thing we haven't touched on is when you talk about McKinley, that's one thing that Wes Miller said. If he's been healthy, he thinks they win a few more games because of his energy and what he brings to the table. And you can tell, ever since he's been on the floor, he's completely changed the game from an offensive rebound standpoint.
Celestine tried to force it across the baseline. Cincinnati retains possession. Good shot fake by ToDay. And the freshman Tillery comes up off to the right. A jump ball, it's going to be possession arrow, West Virginia.
And you see every time a shot goes up for Cincinnati, who is in the mix? McKinley. That is what he brings to the table, and that's what Wes Miller loves about this young man. He loves his energy. He loves the physicality in which he attacks the glass with every single possession.
He missed his last 4 games for the Bearcats. His first practice was yesterday since their loss to University of Georgia, seemingly months ago. But he is, as you said, an energy giver to this Bearcats club.
Look at Baba Miller sitting down on the point guard right now.
Here's Huff working on Thomas. What a matchup. Huff comes up short in the paint. And a chance to tie with a 3 for Cincinnati. This is the 25th or 26th all-time meeting between these two. West Virginia holds a 13-12 all-time lead. And we're going the other way, says Tony Padilla.
I think that might have been a moving screen. Had to be a moving screen.
Yeah, it's on Cham. That's the 3rd team foul on Cincinnati. So relatively cleanly played first half.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw that, but Tony Padilla is one of the best in the game.
Here's Lorient. Huff. He's in range anytime he touches the ball. 8 on the shot clock.
And you love to see consistency right here. You get a moving screen on one end, and then the opposite side, West Virginia does the same thing. We love when referees are consistent.
James Moore checks in for the Mountaineers. Checking in for the Bearcats, Sean White.
And now Sincere Harris. A late substitution by Wes Miller with 4:43 to go in what has been a spirited first half between Big 12 rivals Cincinnati and West Virginia. Both teams lost their Big 12 openers to top 10 teams, Cincinnati to Houston, and West Virginia lost at Iowa State. Both trying to grind out a win in their second games in Big 12 play. Double teamed in the post is Cham. And he's wrapped up, and the West Virginia bench loves it.
That is a great way to go right there and dig on the backside by Honor Huff. As soon as Chom takes that dribble or turns the opposite way, who is right there? Huff is coming down low. And if you bring the ball low, you can cause yourself a lot of problems. You can put yourself in a bad situation.
Honor Huff in amongst the trees there, not afraid to get his nose broken. Abayev off the mark, but again kept alive by the Cincinnati Bearcats. Here's Chom. Nice look, Chom to Jizzle James.
When you have two smaller guards trying to double a guy at 7 foot like Chom, he has enough skill to be able to look opposite and throw a pass on the money to Jizzle.
Six offensive.
And that's not something that Amir Jenkins does a lot. He's a guy that loves to get downhill. However, when he does do it, he does that efficient clip at 50% from the three-point line.
6 first-half threes for the Mountaineers. They average just 8.4 a game. The one more, James. Short again on the three. We've seen that earlier tonight as well. Now Huff, catch and release. You expect it to go in when he shoots it from anywhere. Here's Harris, the former Mountaineer. Ohio native, gets his own miss. Still can't get it to go. Floyd lost the footing, and it's Cincinnati basketball.
You got numbers, you got to score.
Harris gets fouled, and a hard foul by Obioha.
That looks it to hear Norm Roberts' voice, my man, Norm Roberts.
We miss him on the sidelines, long time
my
assistant
guy.
to Bill Self, but now he's killing it in the studio as well. Sincere Harris, after that tough fall where he hit his head, comes back and knocks down the first free throw. West Virginia has led the entirety of this game, but Cincinnati has chipped away and is now within a couple of points of tying this one with 2:40 to go in the first half. Cincinnati just 3 for 14 from three, King, but 12 points in the paint, courtesy of 7 offensive rebounds.
That's been their best offense. Just getting it off the rim, second chance points. That has been the reason why they've slowly climbed back into this game.
There's Thomas.
It's more, it's so hard to stop. And scouting report, this is why it's so important to pay attention to the scouting report, because it tells you what guys are going to do. You know he's not a shooter. So why are you closing out so hard? Because when you close out that far, Chance Moore is way too good, way too strong, way too physical.
Just to punctuate that, King, 2 for 11 on the season from three-point range, 0 for his last 8. So chances are better than good. He's going to put it on the deck. He did, and now he completes the three-point play.
And we used to call guys like that short closeouts. That means you don't go past the free throw line on dudes like that.
Touch off the glass, no good for Jizzle James. Look out for Honor Huff in the deep right corner. Now he comes up on the wing. Here's the freshman Jenkins. Huff guarded by Thomas. 10 to shoot for the Mountaineers. Moore again. Good hands by Celestine, out of bounds. Oh, and they call the foul instead on Jalen Celestine.
And that's just not a good foul right there by a veteran player in Celestine. We just talked about how Chance Moore is not a shooter. So late in the shot clock, if you can get a guy like Chance Moore to take a contested mid-range jumper, you win that possession regardless if it goes in or if it doesn't.
Moore misses the first. Well, the college football playoff semifinals on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. Thursday, Miami taking on Ole Miss in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. And next Friday, Oregon squares off against #1 Indiana in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Coverage of both games kicks off at 7:30 Eastern.
Who you got?
It's hard to pick against Indiana, I'll tell you what, but it's really hard to beat a team twice in a season. I'm going to Oregon in the big upset. What about you?
I'm going with Trinidad Chambers, the way he was playing the other day. I'm a prisoner of the moment, for sure.
Recency bias.
Recency bias all the way here, especially when it comes to football.
Yeah. Little hand fighting between a couple of freshmen. Jenkins and Tillery toe-to-toe. Now it's Eagle staff. Counting down to 1 minute to go in the first half. Here's Thomas, dribble handoff to Huff. Releases, too strong that time. A fight for the loose ball. And this is exactly what you would expect in Big 12 play, especially when it's West Virginia and Cincinnati. It's going to stay Mountaineers basketball on the possession arrow.
That's a good shot by Huff. He makes those. But that's what happens if you don't block out. If you ball watch and just try to turn it into a jumping contest, you allow chances for offensive rebounds.
Here's Eagle staff near half court. Huff from the logo. Lost the handle, 5 to shoot. Spins in the paint, the floater, no good. But he gets it back with the tap. And Chance Moore traveled with the basketball. The ninth turnover of the half.
And Rich, that was a better job by Baba Miller on the closeout. He didn't overexert himself, which caused Chance Moore to think about it. He thought about taking the three, caused confusion, forced him to travel. Better job on a closeout right there by Miller.
And now the aforementioned energy giver. Tyler McKinley checks back in, number 24 in black. And a timeout is called. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. Come on back for the final 33.4 from Morgantown. King McClure, I'm Rich Hollenberg. 33.4 to go in the half. So about a 3.5-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Cincinnati 0 for their last 5 from the field and 1 for their last 8. They're looking to close to within 1 possession before going to the locker room.
With McKinley in the game, when the shot goes up, pay attention to the offensive glass.
Jizzle James rocking the baby to sleep against Amir Jenkins. 5 to shoot. James, nowhere to go. Finds McKinley with 1 on the shot clock. And Tyler McKinney contributes again.
This is why Wes Miller rants and raves about this young man. Just look at the hands right here. This isn't an easy pass because Jizzle throws it up a little bit high, and then you got a guy like Obiaho pressuring you, pushing you out a little bit so you can finish through the contact. McKinley does so much good, and when you talk to Wes Miller, he said if McKinley is healthy, he's a guy that's fighting for this starting position. You could see him starting by the end of the season.
Had a knee injury last year that forced him to redshirt off the mark. 3 seconds to go in the half. Here's Moore. And the Mountaineer musket goes off. That signals halftime in Morgantown, West Virginia.
One shot to tie the game. The shot didn't fall. West Virginia won, but it was another typically tight-knit game between these two Big 12 rivals. Cincinnati starts the second half with possession. A three can tie it. Thomas thought about the three. 10 on the shot clock. James. Nowhere to go. Gets it to Baba Miller with 5 on the shot clock. And not necessarily the one you want taking that shot. And that's good defensive discipline right there. There were a few times in which West Virginia could have been out of position, but they stayed rooted. They didn't bite for pump breaks. They got the stop. Ooh. wouldn't necessarily call that a lob attempt. That's a term you saw in the last game to close out the first half. He went a 12-goal run by himself. He has the ability to turn that on and off, and I can hear it. Benny Thomas is the same way. Off. Let's got 5 trees tonight in the game by 19 now. Big check from Thomas off the ball. Here comes Huff up the right side. And Huff gets fouled by Chisel James. Let's take a look at ToDay Thomas and what he can do. Right there, Mustafa Chop keeping the ball alive. ToDay Thomas can knock it down, and you see one go in, you gotta shoot the next one. That's exactly what he does. Automatic bucket. We're tied, and Huff can't untie it. But Obiola chases it down. It's still gonna be Cincinnati basketball. Well, if you've ever watched Wes Miller's Bearcats play, you know they were not gonna go into a shell and hide for the rest of this game. Obiola. Here's Warrior. Oh, he went for the reverse jab and had it blocked. I love the way Warrior attacks the rim. I know he hasn't had success tonight. I love the intention. Here's Sincere Harris, the former Mountaineer, working on Eagle staff. Somehow found ToDay. And ToDay spins and can't hit. That's great defense right there by Jasper Floyd. Yeah, he picked on a perfect, but he was still there to be able to contest that shot, which caused ToDay Thomas to miss. Now another foul whistled on Chisel James, his second. Cincinnati ball. Harrison Sean checked out for Westmore Celestine, and that man, Tyler McKinley, back on the floor for the Bearcats. I like this. I think it's a little strategic by Wes Miller. When Big O goes to the bench, now you put McKinley in the game to battle against the freshman, and DJ Smith. How them move without the basketball. On the drive, if you can relocate, you catch the defense sleeping, and you rise up and knock it down. That is a beautiful exhibition of how to move without the basketball. Playing in his 125th career game as a collegiate athlete. Jalen Celestine, what's interesting with that, we always talk about the year of the freshman this year, but in the Big 12, you can't forget about some of the upperclassmen guards. Milo's Uze, we have Jaden Bradley. I mean, we have some of the best upperclassmen guards in this league as well. Cincinnati down by 2, and Trev is 13 in the first half. A triple here will give them their first lead of the night. Celestine comes up with nothing but air that time. Honor Huff, number 3 in white for West Virginia, the only player in the game in double figures. Obiola. 10 on the shot clock for the Ears. And Chisel James will be whistled for his 3rd foul tonight. And that's the worst right there, Rich. You played 23 seconds of beautiful defense. You don't allow West Virginia to get into anything. And you bail them out with the foul in the last 7 seconds. That's the worst right there. And that forces Chisel James to the bench. The freshman, Deshaun Tillery, takes his place. Here's Tillery checking Amir Jenkins. The hostage triple by Jenkins gets it up, can't get it to go, and a foul on the floor. And that's the problem, man. Obiola can kick in calls when you're dealing with a guy like John, who is a great player, but not as physical as Big O down there. So Big O can always get the inside position if John isn't really locked in to the defensive glass. Sounds weird hearing you say Big O against Cincinnati. Bearcats fans, very fond of that name, Oscar Robertson, their most famous or whatnot. And a foul on the ball. That's going to go on freshman Hawai'i. Right here, Rich, in a close game like this. Remember this possession. This possession could come back and haunt Cincinnati. Because you're racking up fouls and towards the end of the game, especially in one-possession ball games, is to come down to a free throw competition. Both teams 3 for 7 from the strike. Different Bearcats again in the scoring column tonight. And you can tell each other that scouting report, they allowed Tillery to shoot that jumper with no contest. Well, now that he's hit one, you have to adjust. We now have our third tie of the ball game. Good hands by ToDay Thomas. Both went to Syracuse to earn their chops, and now both mainstays in Big 12 media. Chance more out of the timeout. That's the bucket. That's a long time in one place, Rich. We should all be that lucky. Those two guys are absolute legends. They're great at what they do. 100%. And I know Cincinnati fans and West Virginia fans watching right now might be watching, but they might have the volume turned down, listening to their guys call it on the radio. I have no problem with that. Cincinnati off a West Virginia turnover. Chance to take the lead with a triple. 8 for 27 from beyond the arc for the Bearcats. And this inside the three-point line there from Hawai'i. Thomas off the mark. And Tillery getting an extended run from Wes Miller with Jizzle James. Still on the bench with those 3 fouls. Well, outside that turnover, he's actually done a really good job there. Controlled the tempo, he's guarded the basketball at a high level. He's earned himself some minutes as a player time. Well, Cincinnati has gotten relatively hot from three-point range after starting miserably 3 for 15. West Virginia has made 6 of their last 9, so we came in doing this as a defensive battle. And it has been 47-45, only 9:21 to go, but both offenses showing signs. And right now, with no Dele Thomas on the floor, a guy who needs to be aggressive is on the bench. I think this is what Jizzle James has to look to be more aggressive, despite him having some struggles early. Miller off the mark. That's the one flying the ointment in his game. Not a good shooter. And I think if he was a good shooter, he'd already be in the draft right now. Miller cleans up his own mess. Back-to-back buckets for Chance Moore. He has a dozen. He's been so consistent. You talk about finding a second score for West Virginia outside on and off. Chance Moore might be the answer. Now James to the block, back on the floor playing with those 3 fouls. Cincinnati in a little bit of a drought, coming up on 3 minutes without a bucket. 5 on the timer. James step back. Off the back iron, offensive rebound, McKinley. Harrison traffic gets fouled and will go to the line. And that's where you have to stay disciplined. Right there, medieval staff, you're about 6'6", you have the height advantage. Just warm up if Cincinnati Harris knocks that down over you, it's just 2 points. It's a tough 2 points. So it's not the end of the world, but now you put him on a free-throw line and it takes you give him an easy 2 points. Cincinnati Harris, the former Mountaineer, misses the first free throw. Here's our next ESPN NBA Wednesday doubleheader, and it should be a great one. Jamal Murray and the Nuggets taking on Jaylen Brown and the Celtics at 7 Eastern. Then Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs hosting Luka and the Lakers NBA countdown tips off at 6:30 Eastern. Of course, the Celtics tie into the Mountaineers because Joe Mazzulla, the C's head coach, a former Mountaineer himself. He's done a phenomenal job with the Celtics. Talk about a team that has endorsed the 3-point shot. That's the name of the game, Rich. That's the day and age of all basketball is. And the trickle-down effects of the college game. That one out of bounds. It's should be Cincinnati basketball. It looked like it was, at least to me. That's why I'm not an official. And it's West Virginia basketball. 16 on the shot clock for the Mountaineers. They lead by 3 coming up on 8 minutes to go in regulation. The scene he put on display is his passing. Whether that be a transition, whether that be in the mid-post going up the double, he is an excellent passer. Got 3 dimes in that loss to Houston. Now West Virginia down by 5, their largest deficit of the evening. 10 on the shot clock. Eagle snaps to Rono. Can't get it to go. Loose ball, Cincinnati basketball. And 2 pins go down, and Obioha looks like he got the worst of it. Let's go back to this. Did Huff get the ball on the glass? I don't know, that's not a great look at it, but nonetheless, they counted as a block, and if you get stops, you can run in transition. Get rewarded after you get the block, run the lane. Bob Miller, big pass. So big man for West Virginia, Harlan Obioha, slow to get up, is going to have to go to the bench and get checked on. And now a small lineup for Los Angeles, his team down 5, Cincinnati in the midst of an 11-zip run. There's Miller with 10 on the timer, double teams in the post. Off the hands of Celestine out of bounds.
And you could play this out. You could. Theoretically, when you look at the time difference, you could try to play this out. However, I don't love that idea. I think when it gets to about 15 on the game clock, if you haven't caused a turnover, you need to foul. I wouldn't play this out.
West Virginia's got to go the full 94, full court pressure from the Bearcats. Huff gets it in to Lorient. And now Eagle staff. No foul yet from Cincinnati. And now it's in the right man's hands. Honor Huff, number 3 in white. And there's the foul from Jizzle James, his 4th.
And that's good right there. That's what you wanted, right? Maybe you wanted the ball in a different player's hands and not Honor Huff, but you tried to get the steal. Wes Miller wanted to trap in the half court with Bob Miller. You really couldn't get to it, but the foul right there is not the worst thing. If Honor Huff makes both of these free throws, it's still a 1-possession game.
So now it's double bonus time for West Virginia. 1-1 for Honor Huff. 2 for 4 from the free throw line tonight, but he made that one when it counted most. 23 points for Huff, 1 shy of his season high. West Virginia still with fouls to give. A season high tying 24 for Honor Huff.
You don't need a 3. You can go for a quick 2.
Thomas misses. Eagle staff comes away with it. And an immediate foul with 11.4 left.
And this is what Wes Miller was referring to when he talks about closing out games. We've seen bad possessions from Cincinnati multiple times down the stretch. Look how much time is left right here. This is not the best shot that you can get. You still have about 13 seconds to try to get a better one. And honestly, in that scenario, you really could have got a quick 2. But that's not a good look. And you just put yourself in a really, really tough bind right now.
Eagle staff makes the first to make it a 4-point lead for West Virginia.
And in the last 2-3 minutes, Rich, it's just not been good execution by Cincinnati, on the offensive side at least.
And an immediate foul by Jenkins on Jizzle James. Just the 3rd team foul for West Virginia in the second half. Wes Miller's Bearcats stay on the road. They'll go to Orlando to take on UCF, who is now ranked 25th in the nation. That game on Sunday. Saturday, the West Virginia Mountaineers welcome in the Kansas Jayhawks. This place will be lit, as the kid said. And another foul.
West Virginia foul, goal number 2, Amir Jenkins. That's his third. Foul number 5.
And right now you see West Virginia fouling because they don't want, whatever Wes Miller called, they don't want to allow Cincinnati to be able to get into whatever offensive set that Wes Miller called. I like the strategy right there by Ross Hodge.
So the Bearcats are out of timeouts. One timeout remaining for Ross Hodge to call. Possession arrow still remains with West Virginia. So what do you do if you're Wes Miller with your team trailing by 5 and time is clearly of the essence?
Well, it's a 2-possession game, whichever way you cut it, but you go for a quick 3. That's what you have to do right now. You have to go for a quick 3 within about 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Get a foul, hope they miss one, and then just wish for the